How we doing? How we doing? This is Destination Denver, Colorado, and today, I get it, you might be moving to Colorado, but you're not necessarily interested in just Denver. Well, we're here to cover 10 of the best places in the state of Colorado to live, and we're starting right now. All right, this is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Everts, and listen, if you're interested in learning all the ins and outs, pros and cons to moving to or around the Denver or Front Range area, then this is the channel for you. So that subscribe button and notification icon you see on your screen, make sure you click on that as I'm dropping new videos for you each and every week. And as much as I try to be a little informative here on camera, I'm also a licensed mortgage broker covering the entire state of Colorado and team with some of the state's most talented realtors. And we're helping people move here each and every day. So the number and email you see on your screen, know that I am always the person answering your phone calls, answer your texts, answer your emails. There, winning if you need me. Now that we're done with that phone-filled stuff, let's get to what we're here for, and that is 10 of the best places to live in the state of Colorado. All right, so I can't make a video about the best places to live in Colorado without having some honorable mentions, because at the end of the day, I can't drive all over the state and fly my drone over everything as much as I would like to. So among them, if we're talking about mountain living especially, you can't talk about Colorado without Aspen. A little place called Aspen where the women flock like the salmon of Capistrano, and if you get that reference, we can be friends. So you have great ski towns of Aspen, Vail, Steamboat, Breckenridge, and those are amazing communities, whether you're a skier or not, year-round, extremely popular. Aspen, of course, kind of speaks for itself, but all of them absolutely gorgeous and at varying price points. Steamboat, Breckenridge will be a little different than Vail and Aspen. To their west, you have Glenwood Springs, which kind of sits in a valley just short of Grand Junction and the western border of Colorado, home of 2 hot springs and a really cool small mountain town. Coming closer to Denver, you have Estes Park, actually closer to Denver and Boulder, but Estes Park, one of our great getaway locations, small town, great walkability. And then to the southwest corner of Colorado, not quite to the corner, you have Durango, Colorado. Again, if I'm gonna talk about the best places in Colorado to live, you can't without mentioning those. And someday I'll get to them with my drone. And if you wanna buy a house in Aspen, I mean, I'm willing to help with that as well. So obviously you can't talk about Colorado without placing Denver #1, because that is where, at the end of the day, the Denver metro area where most people are moving to. So Denver, founded in 1858 during a gold rush. Population sits around 715,000, but when you look at the Denver, Aurora, Lakewood metropolitan area, it's in the multiples of millions. And like any state capital, biggest city, etc., it's gonna be home to some of your bigger aspects. It's gonna be where the largest concerts are. It's gonna be where all of our sports franchises. It's gonna be home to most of our museums, our zoo, our botanical gardens. So Denver is the hub. Now, obviously, like any major metropolitan city, you talk about a lot of different segments, a lot of different suburbs. And so when we consider Denver, you can't really do so without thinking about those suburbs. Because as I mentioned, you have 715,000 roughly people living in Denver proper and multiple millions living on its outskirts. Some of the fun facts I love about Denver are the fact that we brew more beer than any city in the United States, and the fact that the Denver Mint produces more than 40% of the coinage in the United States. And no, not Bitcoin. I haven't found any of that yet. Next up on the list, #2 is Boulder, Colorado, located roughly 45 minutes to maybe an hour if there's significant traffic, northwest of Denver, up I-25 over to Route 36. And Boulder, one of the most popular communities in all of the state for people not just living, but certainly visiting. And there's a lot of people who want to live near Boulder, so they live in some of its outskirts. Among the reasons why, one, Boulder's gorgeous. It's a beautiful town. As you drive into Boulder over Route 36, it's one of the greatest visuals you'll see. It's also home to the University of Colorado, or CU. I like to flip our letters there, I don't know why. And right on the Front Range in front of the Flatiron. So a beautiful community, one of the more expensive places. When we take out some of those honorable mention areas like Aspen and Vail, Boulder is going to be one of the more expensive areas in all of Colorado to live. That is why a lot of people will live on the outskirts within driving distance or a quick shot over to Boulder. And one of the last biggest features of Boulder will be how highly rated its educational system will be. The Boulder Valley School District is routinely rated in the top 5 in the state. and that is one of the big draws of people moving there. And by far my favorite fun fact about Boulder is the fact that it is home to more used bookstores per capita than any other city or town in the United States, and that just feels like Boulder. And I mean that as a compliment. I love me a good used bookstore. Next up on our list, we're gonna head south on I-25, south of Denver, roughly anywhere from an hour, maybe hour 15 to 2 hours, depending on what part of the town to the other you're going and traffic, but you have Colorado Springs. People are gonna debate me on that drive time, they do every time. But Colorado Springs, the second most populated location in all of Colorado. And what I like about Colorado Springs most is it's certainly a step down from the size of a Denver in that metro area, but it's still somewhat of a city. You know, you're not going to some podunk small town, depending on where you're coming from. If you're moving here from New York, you would say that, but you'd say that for Denver as well. So Colorado Springs, certainly a growing area, home of the Air Force Academy, home to several military bases, has a strong military presence there, active duty and veteran. Great outdoor activities. Obviously, you have Pikes Peak, the tallest peak in all of Colorado, located there. And you have the Garden of the Gods, a great hiking trail. I've got a good story about that. If you ever give me a call, I'll tell you my hilarious story of Garden of the Gods and how God made it. But I digress. Of course, I would tell that story here, but it'd take way too long. My editor would want to kill me. And for my rock climbers, Colorado Springs is actually the home. It's where rock climbing was founded. I don't really know how they make that claim, because I'm pretty sure throughout history people just, I don't know, climbed rocks, but they do. It's also home of the Olympic training ground. So athletics, getting outdoors, really being active, that's a big Colorado Springs thing. Next up, number 4, we're heading north now of Denver, and we're heading to Fort Collins, Colorado. Again, kind of similarly from a distance standpoint, from Colorado Springs to Denver to up to Fort Collins, same. I don't know if that made any sense, but we're just gonna keep rolling with it. So it's roughly an hour and a half to maybe 2 hour drive from Denver to Fort Collins. Again, depending on traffic. And there's gonna be somebody who lives on the very southern tip of Fort Collins and the very northern tip of Denver, and they're gonna say it's an hour, regardless. Fort Collins is home to Colorado State University. Unlike the University of Colorado, we don't flip our letters. So it's Colorado State University or CSU Rams. Great campus there, huge in the veterinarian space. Just a random fun fact. And Fort Collins has one of my favorite downtown areas. It's big enough as a city where it has its economic hubs, a lot of technology businesses, a lot of finance, a lot of healthcare and education certainly, but yet a town that doesn't feel too big. The downtown area filled with a lot of breweries, and Colorado has plenty of days where people want to get out and about and walk. And it's the downtown of Fort Collins just has a ton of walkability to it. You see a ton of people, I'm just gonna keep using the term ton, a lot of people walking around enjoying themselves. The other thing that really catches my attention about Fort Collins is how green it is. Especially, during our summer months, a lot of Colorado, Denver and Colorado Springs, big for this, it's dry, and so our green really turns into more of a yellowish green, if not flat out yellow. Whereas when you get up to Fort Collins, it just seems to be more moisture, it's more green, it's a bit more lush. Not East Coast lush, don't hit me with that, but for Colorado standards, very much so. And Fort Collins is gonna present a bit more affordability than some of the other locations, Denver and Boulder, for example. Extremely popular and growing. While you're up there, you have to hit Horsetooth Reservoir, one of my absolute favorite places to go, and the Poudre River is an excellent location as well. Fun facts, Fort Collins named the craft beer capital of the world, and I love this. At Disneyland, Main Street, USA was designed behind downtown Fort Collins. So if you love Disney, you're gonna love Fort Collins, it's natural. Next up on the list, I'm gonna throw you a little bit of a curveball. Just south of Fort Collins is Loveland, Colorado. No, not the ski town. A lot of people get that confused, but Loveland, a great suburb, and again, within a quick drive to Fort Collins and a little close to Denver for folks that need to get down to the city or over to the airport. So Loveland has a population of about 82,000, and it's home to Boyd Lake. It's home to the Devil's Backbone, and a really cool downtown area. If you've watched any of my videos, you know how much I enjoy downtown regions. And as I say this, I'm not even gonna ask my editor to move my comment, but I talked about Boulder earlier and I forgot to mention Pearl Street. And for any of you watching who thought I wasn't going to mention Boulder, you can still comment that I'm a moron for not mentioning it when I should have. But Loveland is not like Pearl Street, but now that we covered that, Loveland is a great area for boating and hiking, fishing, a lot of outdoor activities, great community, and a lot of just really cool neighborhoods within Loveland. And when you look around, you will notice easily the 300 pieces of art around the town of Loveland. Very cool. Rolling right along, because I can't keep you here all day, moving south of Loveland, we have Longmont, Colorado. One of the bigger, can't call it suburbs, one of the bigger towns north of Denver. The population sits around 98,000. You've got lakes, you've got outdoor. It is home to Prospect Park, one of my absolute favorite neighborhoods. You pull into this community of Longmont, and it's as though you are exploring like a small town within a town. One of the coolest things ever. It's home to Union Reservoir and Sandstone Ranch. And interesting to me was the fact that Longmont is home to some of the highest numbers of tech startup companies in the state of Colorado. Now, as we roll along, I'm going to bring it closer to Denver, closer to our hub. So next up on the list, just south of Denver, really bordering Denver, is Castle Rock, Colorado. I don't know why I keep saying Colorado at the end of these. You know they're all in Colorado, but Castle Rock used to be just kind of a detour, if you will, between Denver and Colorado Springs, but now it is really a town into itself. So in Castle Rock, well known for its outlet malls, a lot of shopping, but it's got a great downtown area and a thriving community. A lot of new homes, highly rated schools, and you'll find people who, again, were looking for affordability, maybe in some closer Denver suburbs. Highlands Ranch comes to mind as a location that people would look at and then spin over to Castle Rock because they had some similarities, but more affordable in Castle Rock. But Castle Rock, a very, very popular location. Filled with outdoor activities. Again, a great, quick, walkable downtown area. You have your malls, you have your restaurants. Really, the one big knock on Castle Rock is the fact that it relies so much on I-25. You have mountains on each side. So there's a lot of reliance on I-25 to go north and south. Not that those are the only roads in and out of town, but outside of that, certainly a place you may want to check out, especially, I keep saying especially, if you are looking for towns within earshot, within a quick drive to Denver, but you don't want to be really in the city. And then we will wrap up with 3 of Denver's cooler suburbs. So next up, you have Golden, Colorado. I don't know why I keep saying Colorado, but located west of Denver. And Golden, nicknamed by locals Baby Boulder sometimes, can be a bit pricey, but also one of the coolest towns because you get kind of that mountain feel, but you're very close to Denver. You're very close to the city. So Golden, along Washington Avenue, one of the best walkable downtown areas you're going to find. And if you're able to live somewhere, again, within a quick drive or walk to that, it's a plus. Golden is home to the Colorado School of Mines, one of the most highest rated engineering schools in the United States. It's also home to the Coors Brewery. We're owned by Olson now, but the Coors Brewery, which is the largest single brewery, the land mass, everything they have going on there, that is the largest brewery in the world. And Golden, covered by Jefferson County Schools, typically highly rated there. A lot of different housing options, just a great community. Golden is really a place that I thought I would live in at some point in my life, but I love getting up there. Excellent to visit, excellent to be around. You want to check it out. Next up, we head southeast of Denver to Parker, Colorado. Parker within a decent drive to the city, but kind of blends that small town feel with some great communities. A lot of terrific neighborhoods to explore, highly rated schools, has some decent affordability by, again, Denver standards, although there are areas where you'll pay a pretty penny. I mentioned the downtown area, a lot of walkability, and Parker has some of the best community events you're going to find. They're really community centric, whether it's for kids, whether it's for adults, families, you name it. Parker Days, their Oktoberfest, their Park Treat events, a lot going on in Parker. And again, when you talk about their communities, anybody I know that lives in Parker tends to speak very highly of it. It's very rare that I talk to somebody who lives there who wants to get out. And then last up, because we've been here for a while, is Lakewood. I'm kidding. I live in Lakewood and I'm not including it in my list. No, it's actually Littleton, Colorado, located south of Denver, south of Lakewood, going southwest. Very large suburb. Littleton's downtown area with Main Street and Aspen Grove south of their Main Street. Two excellent places to check out. Their downtown area has about 4 or 5 just walkable blocks filled with your shops, your cafes. Again, highly rated schools through Jefferson County, as well as some private options. And then because of its size, you could live near its town and you have all that. You can get farther west into some nice suburbs, some big houses. You can get up to Ken Carroll, which is still part of Littleton, but really kind of a smaller mountain town, if you will, within Littleton. I shouldn't say mountain town, mountain neighborhood within Littleton. So Littleton just comes with a lot of different options for it. So when we're talking about the suburbs of Denver, as looking at Colorado as a whole, I think Golden, Parker, and Littleton really fit that mold. But overall, when we're talking about the state of Colorado, there is so much to love about it. And I don't want people to think that, especially if they're watching my videos, that I'm just talking about Denver. At the end of the day, there are a lot of communities in Colorado you want to check out. Hopefully these 10, as well as some of the honorable mentions, were helpful. And if there are some that you'd love to cover, that's a great time to give me a call. My number and email on your screen, knowing that I'm always the person. Answer your phone calls, answer your texts, answer your emails. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Everett. That was 10 of the best places in Colorado to live. Until I see you next time, peace.